Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Cathedral of Speed, Monza, as we head towards the latter stages of the 2017 Euroformula Open season. This, the 6th of 8 events on a ground tour around some of Europe's finest circuits for what promises to be a brace of excellent races this weekend as we head towards a very busy conclusion to the season. Well, it's a warm welcome from myself, Ben Evans, as you join us on a cloudy afternoon, but the sun starting to peek through here at Monza as we've got a huge field of cars about to be released. We had a thrilling qualifying session earlier on today, which was concluded, as has been the case often this year, with Harrison Scott taking pole position in the RP Motorsport car. Scott, the runaway championship leader, who could, if events go his way this weekend, possibly claim the championship crown. That is going to be reliant, I think, on some good results and misfortune for others, but it's still an awful lot to race for. 6 races to run in the Euroformula Open season for this year. And there is a driver who's looking for his first victory of the year, Devlin De Francesco, the Canadian with the Carlin team, who had been going so well at Silverstone last time out. 2 second-place finishes for De Francesco, and he will be hoping to maybe go one better and claim an outright race victory. The cars poised in the pit lane, ready for the pit lane to be opened, and then they will be forming up on the grid in a few moments' time. When they do get going, it's going to be a 16-lap race, or in the event of a safety car, possibly it would revert to a 35-minute timed race. So there is a glimpse at the Campos Racing cars lined up on the pit apron. Simon Laxton, the car that you see immediately to the foreground. Laxton, who had his best weekend of the year at Hungaro Ring in mid-season. Of a very strong Campos lineup entered this weekend in Monza. A few team and driver changes as well. The big news being that Yanni Fitcher is now part of the RP Motorsport squad. The German who'd been with Fortec for the opening exchange of the season, switching to RP Motorsport for this weekend and immediately being right on the pace. Then the Fortec team, Jan Leon Schlom returns for the first time since Estoril, and then we've also got back in with Fortec as well this weekend. Ben Hinchley, who made his debut very impressively at Silverstone, is continuing on races over at the team, returning once more. His driver, who was impressive in qualifying, en route to 16th position on the grid in what was a very tricky session to navigate. The drivers know that they will get the best possible time if they're in amongst the tour of the rivals, so lots of jockeying for position in order to try and get that toe. As you can see, as the pit lane now open, they're all with the ultra low downforce settings on the car. The front wing as low as it can possibly go, the same for the rear wing. Now, what we saw in qualifying this morning was that meant it was actually pretty precarious for them as they were picking their way through the chicanes, through the 2 Lesmos, but then they sacrifice in terms of aerodynamic grip there. They gain along the straights with the cars being as slippery as possible. In turn, that means that over the years, Monza has consistently given some of the very, very best racing of the Euroformula Open season, because they can really run wheel to wheel, they can run nose to tail. There is Alex Karkozik, who was in great form for RP Motorsport at Silverstone. New helmet design this weekend as well for the Polish driver. We'd seen him in the black carbon fibre lid for most of the season so far. He's now got the silver earned green helmet. As ever at Monza, a big event for the RP Motorsport team. It's their home round. Therefore, they have got a lot of supporters and well-wishers in the paddock this weekend. So here's our championship leader, Harrison Scott, who has won 8 of the 10 races that we have had so far this season. his other two results were a second and a ninth place. It shows just how impressive Scott has been over the course of the 2017 campaign. Will he be able to convert it to a ninth race victory? That's going to be the big question. As Scott heads towards the grid. Nikita Troitsky, with whom he will share the front row of the grid, is already there, and Russian driver leads the rookie championship, looking for his first outright race victory of the season. And Troitsky second in the standings. He's some way clear of third place man in the points, Amir Vaidyanathan. And again, a difficult qualifying for Vaidyanathan, which is going to leave the Indian driver down in seventh. So Scott just picking his way towards the front of the grid. Of course, here at Monza, qualifying isn't quite as essential as it is at some other circuits. But nonetheless, starting to run through the field, if he can, Harrison Scott wants to try and break the toe of some of his rivals and not get involved in a slipstream battle as the race begins to unfold. Last year, of course, we had that wonderful scrap for the lead between Ferdinand Habsburg and Leonardo Pulcini. Hoping for a dissimilar level of battling this afternoon. So Scott to a halt, the RP Motorsport team get to work. And then likewise for the Drivex team, with Nikita Troitsky on the other side of the front row of the grid. Troitsky's car just being rolled absolutely up to its marks. Last opportunity to just check everything as it should be, tightening the wheel nuts lest anything go wrong mechanically. Scott relaxed in the cockpit, just having a drink. Last couple of words of advice. Same for Nikita Troitsky, fully focused on the job ahead in terms of the overall championship, second in the standings. In the rookie championship, he is some 19 points clear of Yanni Fitcher. There indeed is Fitcher, third on the grid. So the step to the RP Motorsport team proving to be vindicated thus far for the German, who has been getting quicker and quicker with each and every round during the 2017 campaign. Then we have got fourth on the grid, Simon Laxton, the first of the Campos racing cars. Laxton's best weekend of the season came at Hungaroring. Best result of the year, second place in race one at Hungaroring. Then we have got fifth on the grid, Alex Karkozik, who scored his maiden Euroformula Open podium the last event at Silverstone. Again, focused on the job ahead. Sixth on the grid for Devlin De Francesco. Two runner-up finishes in Silverstone. First of the Carlin Motorsport entries on the grid. De Francesco, a tenacious racer, good at overtaking, and that could well work in his favour. Seventh on the grid then for Amir Vaidyanathan in the second of the Carlin cars. Vaidyanathan, third in the championship standings, has had one victory to his name this year, but that came all the way back at the end of May at Spa-Francorchamps. And then the eighth place on the grid goes to the first of the three Fortec cars in the field, Ben Hingley. Just his second weekend in the championship, but he was really tenacious and a front runner at Silverstone. Thiago Vivacqua, one of only three drivers to have run a race so far this year. And he had his triumph at the Hungaroring. And Vivacqua, I expect, will go a little bit better in the race today than that qualifying position suggests, because he kept being caught out by traffic during the qualifying session. Tarun Reddy then rounds out the top 10. Reddy, his second event with the Drivex team, having switched mid-season, and was consistently in the top 10 all the way through qualifying. Really impressive qualifying performance from Lodovico Laurini, the fourth of the RP Motorsport cars. It's been a learning season, this, for Laurini, but it really looked very impressive in qualifying. Earlier on, he was able to find the toe. The car looked really nicely hooked up. Hills line up in full then, with Harrison Scott and Nikita Troitsky on the front row. Then Yanni Fitcher and Simo Laxonen on row 2. Row 3 of the grid is Alex Karkozic and Devlin DeFrancesco. Then we've got Amaya Vaidanaithan and Ben Hingley on row 4. Top 10 completed by Thiago Vivacqua and Tarun Reddy. Then it's Lodovico Laurini and Petru Florescu on the 6th row. Just having a grassy moment in qualifying. Eliseo Martinez and Cameron Das, competitive row 7. Mateus Iorio and then Daniel Liu on his debut, qualifying in 16th. 17th on the grid for Guilherme Samaya. And then Jan Leon Schlum on his return, lining up in 18th, ahead of an all-Brazilian row 10. Christian Hahn and Pedro Cardoso unfortunately picked up damage early in qualifying. And Daniel Pranenko completing the field in 21st position. So very big and competitive grid for this weekend. All calm in the cockpit for Harrison Scott. He just needs to keep doing what he's been doing all year. Nikita Troitsky, can he get the jump on Scott? Can he get involved in the battle and really make Scott work for the victory? Because the challenge has been so often this year that if Scott can get into lead in the early stages, he's just able to steadily drive away from his rivals. Good crowd here at Monza State to enjoy the action. Ideal early autumn conditions as well. It's a nice and warm day, not too sunny, no threat of rain. As the countdown continues on the grid, the 1 minute board just been given to the drivers, so the cars will get fired up and they'll be released on to the formation lap. Last chance to explore this Monza circuit. Chance to warm up as well. The control compound Michelin tire they all run with. So the cars fired up on the grid, waiting for the start of the 11th race of the Euroformula Open season. And we should be in for an absolute treat. Teams heading back to the pit boxes. There's nothing more they can do. It's now all about the drivers on the track, who will be released on their formation lap in a couple of seconds' time. And then Harrison Scott will pace them away down towards the Rettifilio. He does now, sets off. Here's Troitsky alongside him. It's the field getting underway, nobody having any bother. It's the start of the formation lap, then they head down towards the Rettifilio. Scene of so much drama over the years here at Monza. It's a long sprint from where the start-finish line is. And then they have to get very, very sharply onto the brakes and then shift their way through the chicane before the all-important exit from the Rettifilio, because that then is the long sprint through the Curva Grande. Very, very fast right-hander, building speed all the while before they arrive on the brakes into the Variante della Roggia. The left, then the right flick on out of a potential overtaking spot there towards the Lesmos. Lesmo 1 and 2, before then another long blast through the trees, under the banking, through the Ascari chicane, then along towards the legendary Parabolica, around the right-hander and back to complete the lap. Here is the Variante della Roggia. And again, you can overtake on the way in. The exit's all important. If you're slow on the way out, rivals can get the jump on you as you head into first of the Lesmos. Coming through the second Lesmo, it's all about avoiding the AstroTurf on the exit. Very, very slippery on the exit, and unforgiving if you get it wrong. Then it's on to this blast as ready Ben Hingley, Ulrika Laurini just warm up the Michelin tyre. They all run, of course, on the control compound Michelin tyre. They're all in the Dallara F312 chassis, with then the control engine supplied by GT Sport, the championship promoters. This series that is really going from strength to strength with turbulence elsewhere in the world of motorsport. This is a way of going Formula 3 racing in a very cost-effective environment. Teaches the drivers so much about working with an engineer, setting a car up and about the racecraft of the longer races as they step up the motorsport ladder. It's Harrison Scott pacing the field through the Parabolica. Doesn't have to wait for too long on the grid. There's the blue Carling car of Devlin De Francesco. Hoping for a good getaway from 6th on the grid. After the Parabolica, then they can see the grid forming up ahead of them. Sprint down towards the Rettifilio on the first lap. Harrison Scott just has a little bit of a look in his mirrors, sees where his rivals are, sees how long a wait he's possibly going to have on the grid. As he rolls up towards his grid marks. Scott distinguishable from his teammates by the yellow and blue helmet. The only feature in the similar black, silver and orange car has got the bright orange helmet. Alex Karkozic, the grey and green helmet. Nikita Troitsky, he's the SMP livery car with the blue nose cone. Simo Laaksonen, the white and red entry. And then Devlin De Francesco, the royal blue Carling car. You'd expect it to be one of those 6 who'll lead into the Rettifilio for the first time. It's the grid beginning to form up here in Monza. We're just a few moments away from the 11th race of the Euroformula Open season. It promises to be a good one. As Daniel Prudenko rolls to a halt at the back of the field. Looking for the green flag, which we get now. Eyes to the gantry time as the red light's about to come on. The revs start to rise. Who's going to get the jump from the line? And away we go, and it's a good start from 3rd on the grid. Yanni Fitcher very well away, so is Amir Vaidenathan and Ben Hingley, but it's Harrison Scott who converts that pole as they sprint towards the Rettifilio for the first time. It's very congested behind us. They all get on the brakes, and it's Scott who leads, then Fitcher, Troitsky, Simo Laaksonen, and Devlin De Francesco goes around the outside of Alex Karkozic. They're all cleanly through, fortunately, as then they sprint through Curva Grande on towards the second of the chicanes, as behind its wheel-to-wheel Cameron Das goes side by side with Matteo Iorio as Yanni Fitcher tries to stay with Harrison Scott, keeps Troitsky behind him as Ben Hingley looks to the inside of Francesco, who's been passed already by Alex Karkozic as they swing through the chicane, sprint towards the first of the Lesmos. Still, it's all clean, but it's very, very close and competitive behind. Through Lesmo 1, on towards the second of them, Guilherme Samaya. Daniel Prudenko doing battle lower down the order, as is Christian Hahn. Through Lesmo 2, Jan Leon Schlom and Petru Florescu together as off goes Matteo Iorio. He rejoins, but he's going to be shuffled all the way down the field. Hahn looks to pass him, as already Scott looking to break away. Into second position goes Nikita Troitsky. He demotes Yanni Fitcher, with then in 4th place it's Laaksonen, 5th Karkozic, 6th De Francesco, 7th Hingley, then it's Amir Vaidenathan. With Tarun Reddy running a little bit wide as Thiago Vivacqua squeezed him. Eliseo Martinez part of that scrap as well. This is exactly what Harrison Scott would have hoped for. A battle forming for second position. Reddy allowing him to just begin to break the toe of those around him. As De Francesco runs wide at the Parabolica, that allows Vaidenathan through. The same as Lodovico Laurini runs wide. It leaves him prone to a challenge as well from Jan Leon Schlom. Front of the field, surge towards the Rettifilio for the second time of asking. Nikita Troitsky darts, or attempts to dart to the inside. Yanni Fitcher. Fitcher runs a little bit wide, forces Troitsky out wide as they head towards the Variante della Roggia. That can make things interesting. Behind, there's problems. Several cars bouncing across the curbs. As side by side between Troitsky and Simo Laaksonen. Laaksonen getting the advantage. Oh, with a problem for Lodovico Laurini. He's got damaged suspension. Fitcher back to second, 3rd Troitsky, 4th everyone else. As Devlin De Francesco fights his way back past Amir Vaidenathan. It's the fight for second place, which is the one that is catching the attention because it involves about half the field. Those in trouble, it's Lodovico Laurini, Thiago Vivacqua and Petru Florescu, who would appear to have had the timing together, with Florescu and Laurini, two that are sadly static. Look at the advantage already. Harrison Scott 1.6 seconds. Then Yanni Fitcher desperately trying to break away from Nikita Troitsky, Simo Laaksonen and Alex Karkozik. Ben Hingley trying to close that gap down as well as they swing out of Ascari on towards the Parabolica. The second time of asking. Here is a moment for Matteo Siorio on the first lap. No grip. Out through the gravel trap. Is good to see. Now here is the incident that happened. It was Petru Florescu who lost it under braking and just turned across and tagged Ludovico Laurini. And Laurini completely innocent in that. Really unfortunate. Means we've got yellow flags into the Rettifilio. Nikita Troitsky has no option, therefore, but to back out of the move. There's no change in the order. They all shuffle through. Orderly fashion. As the recovery work continues, and it's back green again as they come into Curva Grande. There is Eliseo Martinez in 9th position, the first of the Teo Marti Motorsport cars. You can see the advantage that Harrison Scott has got already. Yanni Fitcher trying to break clear of Nikita Troitsky. Troitsky's got Simo Laaksonen and Alex Karkozik just behind him as well. And Ben Hingley trying to append himself to that group. So it's a reasonably slow afternoon, so we've not quite got the slipstreaming effect you would have on a breezier day. Now here is a look lower down the field. Daniel Planenko attempts to defend from Matteo Siorio. It's a little bit too close for comfort. Daniel Lu, part of that group as well. So Scott continues to lead. Fitcher just ahead of Troitsky. And Yanni Fitcher asking everything the RP Motorsport car, living on the mechanical grip he's got available to him. As he hurtles out of Ascari. Nikita Troitsky trying to stay with him. Still yellow flags into the Rettifilio. So even if Troitsky is right with Yanni Fitcher as they come out of the Parabolica, it might not be to any gain as Alex Karkozik closes up to Simo Laaksonen as they head through the Parabolica. It's a good showing so far for the RP Motorsport team. 3 cars inside the top 5. Sure, their cars leading the race. Down the start and finish straight they go. There's the waved yellow flag. Troitsky sees it, Karkozik sees it. Some of them further back possibly don't. And Hingley, despite his best efforts, just can't quite join that train for second position. Another look is further down the field. Oh, it's Matteo Siorio in trouble again, just pushing a little bit too hard. Losing out to Daniel Planenko. Again, it's just understeering wide coming out of the second Lesmo. Fortunately, so far for Iorio, it's not resulted in the car snapping back across for him. So Scott leads by 2 seconds. Yanni Fitcher second, Nikita Troitsky third. 4th is Simo Laaksonen, 5th Alex Karkozik, 6th is Ben Hingley, 7th Devlin De Francesco, 8th Amir Weidenathan, 9th is Eliseo Martinez. Well, this is an eye towards the championship again. Potentially very good news for Harrison Scott. As again, Troitsky looking to try and light the move on Yanni Fitcher on the way into Ascari. Oh, the car just tries to kick away from him midway through Ascari. Now, is that going to give the advantage to Nikita Troitsky as they run out? Meanwhile, Guilherme Samaya in trouble. It's a disappointment there for the Brazilian. He pulls off the road and out of proceedings as Troitsky challenges Yanni Fitcher and moves into second place into the Parabolica. Simo Laaksonen trying to stay with them as well. Still got the yellow flag, I believe, as they head towards the Rettifilio, as now Yanni Fitcher looks to come back at the Drivex car. The RP Motorsport car, Yanni Fitcher, takes advantage of the toe, moves back clear. Oh, and Troitsky tries to snap his way back past, and they're 3 wide into a waved yellow flag zone. They just about slow it down. And that is going to take a fair amount of disentangling. I think at the end they all saw it. They all tried to be fair to each other. Here's how it all started. Nikita Troitsky bursting out of the bubble to the inside of Yanni Fitcher. It's Troitsky who would appear to be the driver who retains that second position. Does, as Weidenathan and De Francesco continue to battle, but now they're all in a queue behind Nikita Troitsky. This is good. strongly advise taking the phone off the hook for the next 20 minutes or so, because this is going to really take some sorting out as Karkozik runs a little bit wide. Laxonen closes up to Yanni Fitcher. The Carlin twins are closing in as well. Now here, what happened, Troitsky comes out of the bubble, and at the waved yellow flags, it's impossible to see from that angle who had their nose in front. It's Troitsky who claimed the line. Into Ascari again. Yanni Fitcher really confident on turning. He needs to be to try and get up to Nikita Troitsky. Everybody else flashing through, up to and including Eliseo Martinez in 9th place. We're only on the 5th lap of the race. Trainer cars almost running as one towards the parabolic. It's Laxonen who looks to the inside, and Yanni Fitcher who's still got yellow flags according to our timing screen as they arrive into Rettifilio. As now Laxonen runs wide. This is the opening for Alex Karkozik, or is it? Simon Laxonen moves across, regains the advantage. Karkozik bobs and weaves every which way. Has he got quite enough underneath him as they head towards turn 1? No yellow flags this time around. They're free to race as Ben Hingley looks the outside of Alex Karkozik, goes through. Great move, Ben Hingley. He moves up into 5th position. And Karkozik under immediate threat as well from Amir Weidenathan. And Weidenathan in the blue Carlin car looks to challenge to the outside of Karkozik as they swing through Curva Grande. The wheels almost interlocking as they come out of the right-hander. They sprint towards the Valentin de la Rogier, and through goes Weidenathan. And so Alex Karkozik goes from challenging to 4th to dropping to 6th in the blink of an eye. Dropping to 7th rather, as they head through the first Lesmo, then on towards the second of them. Harrison Scott still leads the way by 4.1 seconds. As running wide is Karkozik through the gravel on the exit of Lesmo 2. He loses more ground. He's demoted by Tarun Reddy. That's going to shuffle him to 10th. The Campos team watch on as their man Simo Laxonen now attempts to chase down Yanni Fitcher. Fitcher in turn trying to get onto terms with Nikita Troitsky. This is where slipstream effect, Fitcher will hope, really starts to come into play. Both Troitsky and Fitcher also fighting for the rookie championship as well. And victory today would give second place in the race rather today, but rookie victory would further extend Troitsky's lead in front of the rookie title. Blasting through, and Troitsky's advantage over Yanni Fitcher almost 0.3 of a second, just about on the bubble, where Fitcher can really get involved in the tow here behind Troitsky. Tries to close up onto the Russian as they head through the Rettifilio. While behind Pedro Cardoso, sides to the inside of Alex Karkozik. They're all queued up behind Jan Leon Schlom. He's got Cameron Das as part of that group as well. Now here's the mistake from Karkozik. Again, just so close to Weidenathan's rear wing. The car understeers away from him through the second Lesmo. Keeps his foot in, rejoins. Now Karkozik has got a lot of work to do. He's down into about 13th, 14th place. He's got Christian Hahn snapping at his heels as well. Schlom who heads that queue. Then it's Cameron Das, the American, the reigning American Formula 4 champion. Pedro Cardoso, then Christian Hahn. There's the race leader, Harrison Scott. His lead over Nikita Troitsky, 4.4 seconds. Yanni Fitcher trying to close up onto Nikita Troitsky. In turn, the Russian trying to ease away from the German. Simo Laxonen and Ben Hingley hoping that the tow is going to bring them a little bit closer into this group. At the moment, Yanni Fitcher is not able to threaten Troitsky under braking. He just closes the gap down a little bit and then through the parabolic. That was a good run though for Simo Laxonen in 4th place. He may be able to close a little bit on Yanni Fitcher as the pair of them sprint down the start and finish straight. In pursuit of Nikita Troitsky. Fastest lap of the race last time around going to Simo Laxonen. A little bit closer this time around, appreciably so, into the Rettifilio. Meanwhile behind, Cameron Das side by side, Jan Leon Schlom. Das to the inside, almost outbrakes himself. Schlom slows the car. Das looks for the switchback. He might get it as well as they head towards the Curva Grande with Pedro Cardoso. A grandstand view of the battle in front of him. I'm sure Cameron Das has quite got enough to go the long way around. Gets squeezed as well. Meanwhile, Devlin De Francesco, there he is in 7th place, under pressure from Eliseo Martinez. Martinez has got Tarun ready right with him. So some great trains of car. It's busy fighting around the track. Mayor Weidenathan in 6th, trying to get up to Ben Hingley. Draw breath, race leader Harrison Scott, reasonably comfortable. The battle that is likely to come alive, though, is the one for 3rd, because now Simon Laxton is right with Yanni Fitje. And last time we saw them, Fitje was with Nikita Troitsky. He's lost 0.3 of a second through the middle sector. Oh, this train headed by Jan Leon Schlom, it's for 10th position and is ferocious as Simon Laxton pulls out of the bubble and looks and moves to the inside of Yanni Fitje into the parabolic, and he runs terribly wide. Keeps his foot in, rejoins, side by side down the start and finish straight. It's going to buy Nikita Troitsky a little bit of daylight here as Simon Laxton, I think he's going to have to reconcede the position to Yanni Fitje, who's got the inside line as they get on the brakes into the Rettifilio. But it is, in fact, Laxton who just turns through ahead of the German. Simon Laxton up to 3rd position. Now he sets off in pursuit of Nikita Troitsky. Can he do anything about the Russian? It's going to be a fairly big ask. He's released into a little bit of clear air. Here is this train of cars in the fight for 10th. It is as frantic as it ever was. Again, Cameron Das looking for the long way round through the Parabolica again. It's going to be squeezed out a little bit by the Russian. There's Devlin De Francesco and Eliseo Martinez, as they were, looking into the background. Variante de la Roggia. It would appear as if Cameron Das has made that move finally. Up into 10th place. As we are just over half race distance, somebody puts the wheel off the road, and I fear it's Yanni Fitje, because Ben Hingley got a great run on the German as they head towards Ascari. Here we go then, and it is the Fortec car of Ben Hingley who moves clear of his ex-teammate Yanni Fitje through Ascari. Immediately it springs Mayor Weidenathan into an opportunity as well. So now it's the blue Carling car of Weidenathan right behind Yanni Fitje. Fitje looking to come back at Ben Hingley as well. It forces Hingley to cover the inside line to the Parabolica. Yanni Fitje challenges the outside, and he's going to go for it. Yanni Fitje is still there to the outside of Ben Hingley. Only now does he get back into line behind the British driver as the pair of them accelerate onto the start and finish straight. And Mayor Weidenathan watching all this unfolding as the advantage of the toe just puts Fitje's nose in front of Hingley as the pair of them head towards the Rettifilio. Fitje covers the inside line. Hingley looks to the outside. Weidenathan doesn't know where to go. He wants to stay out of trouble if it all kicks off. He remains where he was. The 3 of them head through the Curva Grande. This is the fight for 4th, 5th and 6th. Again, Weidenathan has maybe got the best run of the 3 of them. As Fitje defends, Hingley attacks, slash defends, because as he covers the inside line, he looks to the inside Yanni Fitje. He keeps Mayor Weidenathan behind him again. The German defends into the first Lesmo, then jinks back across, claims the racing line. Out of Lesmo 1, Ben Hingley just a little bit tidier. Fitje having to beat all angles to keep the car of Hingley behind him as this trio sprint towards Ascari. Race leader Harrison Scott comfortably clear of Nikita Troitsky, who's under no threat at the moment from Simo Laxonen. Through Ascari now for Yanni Fitje. Pick up the throttle out of Ascari along towards the Parabolica. This is where Hingley will try and get into the toe behind the RP Motorsport car. Same for Mayor Weidenathan. Brakes for the Parabolica, they swoop round the right-hander. Weidenathan just saws on the wheel mid-corner. As he look back and the left they go. A little bit sideways for Eliseo Martinez. car juddering. Forces exerted on it. Again, Weidenreithen tries to look to the inside of Ben Hingley. Hingley covers the line off. This is the challenge for these drivers. The gap's ebbing and flowing so quickly as Yanni Fitcher now, he has got a little bit of breathing space, can maybe set about similar accident as Ben Hingley now defends from Weidenreithen, and Weidenreithen looks to the outside of Hingley as they come through towards the Variante della Roggia. Place gained by Mayor Weidenreithen. Hingley will look to fight back from his new 6th position. A little bit offline through the first Lesmo. Meanwhile, Yanni Fitcher definitely trying to come to terms with Simo Laaksonen. The race order is Harrison Scott leads, Nikita Troitsky second, who leads the rookie class. There is Troitsky. Third is Simo Laaksonen, second rookie. Fourth is Yanni Fitcher, third rookie. Through Scari, and for Laaksonen, second podium of the season is what he's chasing. And Yanni Fitcher has really had 2 trips to the podium so far this year. Looking to make it the third. Tries to close up onto Laaksonen as they turn through the Parabolica. This to conclude the 11th lap of the race. All the while, at the front of the field, Harrison Scott looking set for his 9th victory of the year, plus another fastest lap. Just gives an indication of the domination that Harrison Scott has enjoyed all season, even at a circuit like Monza, where it is possible to get into tow of your rivals. Velotta, the principal of the Teo Martin Motorsport, team manager rather of the Teo Martin Motorsport squad, watching the progress of Veloso Martinez, who's right up there in the top 10. Now Yanni Fitcher is with Simo Laaksonen as they head into the Variante della Roggia. Devlin De Francesco, likewise, is with Ben Hingley. But here's the fight for third into the first Lesmo. Now Yanni Fitcher has got a very slippery car. He's making him work through the corners. Oh, that's going to be very tight. Christian Hahn to the outside. To the inside was Pedro Cardoso. Daniel Liu also joining this scrap as well. There is Liu, the fluorescent yellow nose cone car with the black helmet. Oh, and the Chinese runs wide. Now they were behind Alex Karkozic. Sorted itself out a little bit as Cardoso challenged Schlom. Then went sideways. Now down the back stretch. Running out of laps, but Yanni Fitcher appreciably closer to Simo Laaksonen than he was a lap ago. They turn into the Parabolica, just a little flame on the downshift from Laaksonen, who again uses every inch of the road. Fitcher though will hope to get into the tow behind the Campos car as the pair of them sprint along. Start-finish straight, just 4 laps to run. Needs to find 5/10 of a second. He's found a lot of that already as he looks to burst out the bubble, maybe to challenge into the Rettifilio. Can't quite do it, and of course if they start fighting it's going to bring Mayor Weidenreithen into the mix as well. Hingley continues to see off Devlin De Francesco. A little gap back to Eliseo Martinez. Taron Reddy is in 9th. Cameron Dass currently completing the top 10. Tech team contemplate as out of chicane on towards the first Lesmo. Simo Laaksonen just daren't look in his mirror because he'll just see it full of Yanni Fitcher. Out of the second, and then the sprint towards the Scurry. This is where the RP Motorsport car has been so potent. It's along the straights. That hole through the air. Laaksonen likewise getting a very good exit from the second of the Lesmos. So there's nothing that you can do about really challenging for the position. Meanwhile, Christian Hahn and Daniel Liu side by side. Liu has to back out of it. Runs a little bit wide in the BVM car. Again, She closes up onto Simulaxonen's Parabolica. Laxonen's had a couple of wayward trips through the Parabolica. That's another one of them. Buys him a little bit of time. So the gap between the pair of them was half a second at the end of the last lap. It's a little bit more than that at the end of this one. So it means that Fischer in the RP Motorsport entry won't be able to challenge the Campos car of Simulaxonen as they hit the brakes through the Rettifilio. Harrison Scott leads, 5.1 seconds clear of Nikita Troitsky. We're focusing on the fight for third, and this is an opening maybe for Yanni Fischer. He's got a much better run out of the Rettifilio than Simulaxonen as they head towards the Variante della Roggia. Here's the chance to challenge as Fischer is to the inside line. He goes through, takes third place away from Simulaxonen, but then is slow on the exit. Laxonen immediately looks to fight back as Fischer jinks to the inside of the road, tries to slow the Finnish driver down, succeeds in so doing, but Laxonen is right with him. But it's through the second Lesmo, where if you're in the turbulent air, you do risk understeering out wide. Laxonen keeps it on the island. So does the Mayor Weidenreich, who's just behind them, as this group of cars still in the hunt for that final podium spot. Sprint towards Ascari. We've not seen anything much of our race leader, Harrison Scott. There he is. Second place man, Nikita Troitsky. 5 seconds down the road. Then this fight for third. Now it's the turn of Laxonen to try and get the slipstream working to his advantage, to try and come back. Which, if he does, if they slow themselves down, they're certainly going to have company in no time at all on the Brexton's Parabolica. An argument that Laxonen a little bit too close maybe to the car in front of him. Indeed he was. Runs out very, very wide. Rejoins, but he's lost a couple of tenths per second there, Simulaxonen. He's not going to be in a position to challenge at all. To head down towards the opening complex for the penultimate time. So on the brakes, slows the cars through the Rettifilio. Nice and squared on the exit. The same for Weidenreich, the same for Ben Hingley. And Devlin De Francesco is also part of this scrap as well. While Thiago Vivacqua now a lap down to Harrison Scott. Disappointing afternoon for Vivacqua, qualified in 6th. Shuffled a little bit in the opening exchanges. Had a trip into the pits as well. It's just on the personal best lap of the race, but he's going to finish well outside the points. Not going to add to his tally. Harrison Scott, he's just a lap and a half from home. A 9th victory of the season. A victory that could championship in touching distance tomorrow. Nikita Troitsky runs out a little bit wide. Here's the fight for third just behind him, and it looks as if it's relatively settled. Laxonen not near enough to the RP Motorsport car ahead of him to challenge into the Parabolica. Unless he gets an absolutely phenomenal run, he's not going to be close enough to challenge either into the Rettifilio for the final time as they accelerate through. Again, they all slither out a little bit wide. The RP Motorsport man as he bashes our camera. And Simulaxonen trying to chase Yanni Fischer, but he's not near enough to him. And unless the German makes a mistake, then Laxonen is going to have the lap of his life to be in a position to challenge. The RP Motorsport car navigates the Rettifilio without any drama. Mind you, it's the same for Simulaxonen. Was there just a kick of dust on the exit? Maybe. Laxonen, he's a 10th closer than he was on the previous lap. Weidenreich and Ben Hingley still there, ready to pounce if anything should occur ahead of them. The race leader Harrison Scott comes out of the Variante della Roggia. His job is almost done. It's going to be another gentleman's set for Harrison Scott. Pole position, race victory, and the fastest lap. And Scott continuing with his stranglehold over this year's championship. It has been another very, very impressive performance from Harrison Scott as he turns his way through Ascari for the final time. Nikita Troitsky chasing him, leading the rookie class. Again, Scott elusively distant up the road. Fight for third place. Still much as it was as Harrison Scott turns into the Parabolica for the final time. It's been another very impressive drive, this from Harrison Scott, as he accelerates through. He takes another victory, his 9th of the campaign, and Scott celebrates in Monza. The RP Motorsport team celebrate victory at their home round. 2nd place and rookie win goes to Nikita Troitsky. 3rd to Yanni Fitch on his debut for RP Motorsport. 4th, Simo Laxton, who completes the rookie podium. 5th to Weidenheithen, 6th Ben Hingley, 7th Devlin De Francesco, 8th for Eliseo Martinez, Taryn Reddy and Cameron Das completing the top 10. But Harrison Scott is overjoyed with that one. He did exactly what he needed to do, which was, and a tangle on the last lap. It's Daniel Liu and Pedro Cardoso who have had a coming together. That would appear to be at one of the Lesmos. And let's see what happened. That is coming out of the first chicane. That was the spin for Christian Hahn. Is it on the way into the Parabolica? In fact, it is. And just misjudging it a little bit. Pedro Cardoso and tipping the BVM car into a spin. A real pity to end what had otherwise been an excellent race on that note. No such concerns for Scott. So Harrison Scott wins it, sets fastest lap. 2nd place in the rookie wins to Nikita Troitsky. 3rd to Yanni Fitcher. And 2nd rookie Simo Laxton completing the rookie podium with an excellent 4th. Ahead of Amaya Weidenheithen, Ben Hingley in 6th from Devlin De Francesco. Eliseo Martinez, a really impressive run to 8th from Tarun Reddy. And Cameron Das, who completes the top 10 after a tenacious drive. Alex Karkozik, disappointing 11th, but he has got the pace to push for a podium tomorrow. Yet Lanyon Schlom in the thick of the action, race long from Daniel Pranenko, then Christian Hahn in 14th. Mateus Iorio, somewhat distant 15th. Petru Florescu and Lodovico Laurini we lost early on. So in terms of the championship then, well, Harrison Scott 111 points clear of Nikita Troitsky, with Amaya Weidenheithen still in 3rd from De Francesco. Yanni Fitcher now moving ever closer to that fight for 3rd in the standings. Harrison Scott rolls into Parc Ferme. Another absolutely imperious performance from Harrison Scott. He has been the dominant force throughout much of the season. And for the RP Motorsport team, always very special to score a race victory at their home event for the Euroformula Open. It's popping the belts and out of the car. Gets Scott. Reattaches the steering wheel. Celebrates and goes to congratulate the team. Smiles all around, and rightly so. Really impressive drive as well from Nikita Troitsky. Was involved in lots of wheel-to-wheel racing early on. Fortunately for him, that meant that Scott was able to break the toe, but thereafter drove extremely well. And we enjoyed that fantastic race-long fight for 3rd place. Teammates congratulate each other. Lots to celebrate in Parc Ferme for Harrison Scott and RP Motorsport. He'll go and weigh in, and then we'll hear from our race winner fairly shortly. Likewise for Nikita Troitsky. Did very well to break the toe of that fight for 3rd. Which we enjoyed between Yanni Fitcher and Simo Laxton, and back and forth between the pair of them throughout the course of the race. Eventually that move from the German in the latter stages, decisive, and nothing that Laxton could do. And the last couple of laps to fight back.
Harrison, another victory. I guess you never get tired of that.
No, definitely not. Obviously a great feeling. Here at Monza in the first race, to get the first win of the weekend was fantastic. Obviously, home race for the team as well. Lots of guests for them, and to get the win in the first race was just remarkable.
I guess Monza is a sort of special place, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's the racing here is always so close. Showed that in qualifying this morning. Obviously, only half a tenth gap, but luckily enough, I managed to get a good start, get off the line well, and I think let them battle behind and got the gap.
Good, and a big step forward towards the championship.
Yes, exactly. That was the goal coming into this year, and another win's obviously putting us closer to that. But need to stay focused, keep racking up the points, and see what happens.
Well done. All the best.
Thank you.
A look back at the highlights of the race, and it was a jump from pole position for Harrison Scott as he anticipated the start excellently and led the field as they sprinted towards the Rettifilio for the first time. Behind, though, everything was to play for as it was side by side for second position. Gianni Ficci, though, was able to tip through into second place initially as somehow they all made it through the opening exchanges without getting into any trouble. Matteo Sciorio had a torrid afternoon. Started with that trip through the gravel trap at the second Lesmo on the first lap of the race. Meanwhile, Nikita Troitsky was quick to move up into second position ahead of Gianni Ficci and then was able to break clear. We were then treated to a race-long scrap for third place, where Ficci and Simo Laaksonen were the principal protagonists. Eventually, the German who was able to prevail. Harrison Scott, though, a 9th victory of the campaign, dominant performance, and a step closer to the championship. Delight for the RP Motorsport team celebrating a home victory. Second place in the rookie win for Nikita Troitsky, with Gianni Ficci, the second rookie, completing the outright race podium ahead of Simo Laaksonen and the Mayor Weidenheithen. Last lap, last corner disaster, Pedro Cardoso and Daniel Liu tangling and into the gravel. Not they mattered for Harrison Scott and RP Motorsport, victorious again. So on to the podium, where all three drivers will hope one day to stand in Formula One. And for RP Motorsport, 2 cars, the top 3 finishing positions. British National Anthem in honour of Harrison Scott. Let's move on to the presentation of the trophies. Third place to Gianni Ficci, a really impressive drive, that great wheel-to-wheel scrap. Runner-up Nikita Troitsky had to get his elbows out early on. Thereafter, drove a very, very solid race. Comfortable second position, comfortable rookie win, another trip to the podium. Harrison Scott, he got the jump off the line, was able to build the buffer, and thereafter controlled proceedings absolutely beautifully. And he celebrates on the top step of the podium in Monza with the trophy and the applause. RP Motorsport always go well here at Monza, today being no exception. 3 very happy drivers posing for the cameras, enjoying their moment on the rostrum before making merry with the bubbly. Of course, they've got to do it all over again tomorrow. Qualifying in the race still to come this weekend. Now they can celebrate a race well driven. Harrison Scott, another race well won. Turn our attention towards the rookie podium. Again, some really great dicing from the rookie class of 2017. Nikita Troitsky, Gianni Ficci, Simo Laaksonen. Lots of wheel-to-wheel battling throughout the course of the race. And so third on the rookie podium for Campos, Simo Laaksonen, just missing out on an outright race podium. Runner-up, Fitcher. And rookie winner, Nikita Troitsky, an important result for Troitsky. It further extends his lead in the rookie championship. On to the presentation of the trophies. Then receives the spoils of third place. Runner-up, Fitcher hoists his trophy aloft to the team beneath the podium. And for the Drivex squad, been so consistent with Nikita Troitsky this season, and he celebrates another rookie victory here at Monza. We will be back tomorrow for the 12th race of the year. Until then, from Ben Evans in Monza, it's goodbye.